streaming on Twitch. And YouTube looks good. Let's make sure those titles get updated, please. Looks like it's updated, but I was deceived last time. Perfect. Now, I'll wait a couple of seconds. Huge hurry. Today wasn't too bad. Still a lot of thinking, but I'm happy. Just getting some things adjusted and then we can get started. I don't fully remember where we left off, but I'll fix it at the thought process in a second. Yeah. Where we left off. So, right, we were creating the actual game, and we're checking if it's not game. If it's not game, then we run this. Right. And then once time runs out, we say you have 5 seconds before you can break blocks. That gives people enough time to run away. Good. So now, let's say if... So we know that we're in game now. Now let's check if not in wait. You guys can see this good. So, waiting for game setup and return. We'll do the same thing that we did down here. So now we're going to do private void waiting in game set up. Oh, waiting for game setup. There we go. Now, waiting for game setup is fine. So now what we need to do, because this should, we want to make sure we reset the game timer when we run out of Botrix joined, so that's good. Do we reset? Yes, we do reset. Good. And then we return, and then we want run in wait. So now we're going to check if the game timer is greater than 5. Yeah, 5 should work. I'm going to change this to greater than or equal to because right for now it says 0 seconds and I don't want that. So, what do you mean? Oh, yeah, I don't need this anymore. That's true. Good. So if the game timer is greater than 5, then we're going to actually start the game. Otherwise, if the game timer is greater than or equal to 2, then we'll do greater than or equal to 5, so that it's actually correct. Then we're going to go through every player, get playing. Now, I'm going to do something that I wish I did yesterday, because it's going to get a little bit annoying typing this every single time. So what I'm going to do is say public void send message, and we're just going to do object message. I'm not going to do string message because I can just do message.toString. So if the message is equal to null, And we're just going to return. Don't even send anything. Otherwise, we're going to take the player, send the message to string. Perfect. So now, instead of saying .getPlayer.sendMessage, we can simply say .sendMessage. It makes life a little bit easier. There's plenty of other places where this is in use, so I'll have to go through. I'll change them as we go through. So now, b.sendMessage, chat color.red. Breaking blocks begins in plus chat color.white. So something we also want to address is 5 minus the game timer. This seconds here. It's very small and subtle, but every single time we will be saying seconds. But what if the second is 1? We want it to say second with proper English. So I'm going to add that functionality too, because I think that that's worthwhile. So plus space, plus, and now we're going to say if the second is equal to 1, then it's just going to say second. Otherwise, it'll say seconds. Now, I'm going to do the same thing up above. Right here. I believe I went up to here. Yes. Second doesn't exist yet. We'll fix that. And we know that it's 30 minus the game timer. And here, instead of this, we can just simply say second. So we're using second everywhere now. Perfect. And we don't need to do it here because this is every 5 seconds. So we know for a fact it's always going to be seconds. Right. So that's only for when it can say the number 1. So I want to make sure that we're just being proper grammar there. Good stuff. Now, just do the normal pitch. We don't need to lessen the pitch anymore. Good, that takes care of that. And now we're going to set in-game is true, just in case for some reason it's false. And then in-wait is false. So this means that the game has begun. And we'll reset everything. Then, after that, we're going to go through every player again. And we're going to send the message, chat color.gold. What's the message here? We're going to remove the game has begun. Get ready. You have 5 seconds before you can break blocks. Perfect. We'll have it like that. And then here, instead, we'll say the game has begun. And then we will say p.getPlayer.playSound at the p.getPlayer.getLocation sound. Oh. We got the orb pickup, which is a little ding. Ding, 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 dong. Would ding, ding, dong work when you hit a player with an arrow? It might. Let's try it and see if it works. Nothing else needs to change in here. This means that we have everything properly set up. We don't have anything in the listener to prevent players from attacking each other and to prevent players from whatever else they needed to, or they want to do. So we will leave it at that. So let's install this and see if it works. So I'll drag you in, upload it. Let's stop. Start, change to not the server, the testing scene. Wow, that's a lot louder. Why is it so loud? Let's turn you down a little bit. Okay. So it should just automatically take us in. Oh, okay. It's just warning me because it feels like it. Let's lower this to 12 anyway, then. I don't want to see that every single time. So we got 5. Then it should say second for 1 second. There you go. So now it begins. Okay, I'm not seeing it update the timer. Honestly, 5 seconds feels too short. So you got 5 seconds before you can break blocks, which is good. That means that it did everything correctly, but that also means that it's not running our method. So let's see what went wrong. In fact, there might be an error in the console, so let's make sure there's no error in the console. There is no error in the console. There is a big error here, though. Interesting. I wonder what that's all about. Well, it's not for us, I guess. Because I do have it say something if it is for us. I'll have to look into that a little bit later. So it runs. So in game, true. In wait, true. That's the problem. Just one exclamation mark can ruin it all. Let's go ahead and run it now and see if that will work. So plugins, and let's drag Spleef onto here. Now let's go ahead and stop and start the server. Change back to Minecraft. And we'll wait for it to load a second. It's messaging me for next week. Oh, I'll have to take a look at that. Alright, let's see if this worked. Okay, a new game is about to begin. Prepare yourself, but it did not teleport me to the lobby. Okay, we're gonna need to check that out too. I'm probably going to change this to be a lower time because 30 seconds is just too long to wait. Ignore me breaking the glass. Okay, this is 5. Okay, there we go. It just made the sound effect, but it all works. Okay. So there's a few things wrong with it, but it is working properly, which is great. So let's go ahead and switch to programming and see what's not working properly here. So we've got it playing sound. Nope, that's not the right method we want here. So I want it to be entity arrow hit, but it didn't play that sound. I don't know why. It says the game begun, but it didn't play the correct sound for it. Entity arrow. I got a little gnat around me. 'Tis the season. I'm really not sure what sound to use. Honestly, let's just do the orb pickup again, because we already used a pretty quote-unquote extravagant one for the start of the game. So let's make this a 0.8F. That sounds good. Now, up here, I'm going to say private static final, and we're going to have an integer that is game setup timer max is equal to 30. Then private static final int game in wait timer max. That's going to equal 5. So let's, in fact, I'm going to change this to a weird number. We will do 13, and we'll do 17 here. So we'll do that. And then that means we need to scroll down. So max, game setup timer max. So that's good. Then percent of 5 equals 0. Good. Is greater than game setup timer max minus 4. It should be. Because 30 minus 4 is 26. Yes. So then we have the amount of seconds we want, which is game setup timer max, which also needs to go here. And then also right here, we're going to say, get ready, you have game in wait timer max setting seconds before you can break blocks. So it's going to be a lot more flexible there. If the second equals 1, that all looks good. So now in here, we need to check if it's greater than or equal to the game in wait timer. And we're going to do the game in wait timer max minus 3. So I'm actually going to patch this up, say less than or greater than or equal to, and then minus 3 there as well. So here we're going to say the game in wait timer max minus the game timer. That'll get the second. Then we're going to add else if, just in case it's going to be more than 5 seconds, which I probably will do. So mod 5 equals 0. And honestly, I'm just going to copy, paste this, and just say breaking blocks begins in, and then we do the game in wait timer max minus the game timer. There, that should be completely flexible now. I can hear just a groaning baby in the background, just it's a big fake cry. We'll put it that way. It's a really big fake cry. Let's also do private static final int game statement increment is equal to 5. This is a little vague, but basically every X amount of seconds I want it to say this. So it'll be 5 seconds, and it's going to be the same here, because sometimes people want to change that to 10 seconds or 30 seconds and have 60-minute or 60-second wait time. I don't know. It just depends. So now those are completely changeable, is what I'm saying. Anything else? I think that's good. Not using set. I'm not using game mode. We're good there. Okay, so now it's completely flexible. Let's see if 13, 17, and 5 work. We'll plug this right on in the server. Stop. And start. The game. I miss /reload. Is there like /server reload? Does that exist? The game will begin in 8 seconds. 3. You have 17 seconds before you can break blocks. Perfect. 12 seconds. 7 seconds. See, it's an odd number, but now it is easy to change. Okay, yeah, that works. That works. I like that. So now let's change it to programming again. What else? It keeps on going up and down in volume. That's funny. I think that's all we need. So something I can do is make a class for these. I'm not going to. I'm just going to keep it a little simple. Just make myself have an easier time, I suppose. But now, what we can do is we can go into our event handler and handle some events. So public void on hit player. So let's do player interact entity event. That works. Player player is equal to event.getPlayer. Entity is equal to event.get entity. Is there a damage event? Is there something new? Entity damage by entity event. That works. So e.get entity. So start. We'll just call it start. And then event.get damager. And we'll call it end. So if the start is not an instance of a player, and we'll call it the target, then just return. Otherwise, if the end is not the instance of a player, and this is the damager, then we'll just return. So all other functions will work normally. Otherwise, we'll say event.set cancel to true. We're not going to let them harm the other person. Then we're going to say the damager dot send message chat color dot red. You cannot PvP on the Spleef server. Perfect. That's pretty much all I want to do with that. That's easy enough. It'll just spam the player when they left click on someone, and basically. Then event handler, public void undig. So we'll do player block break event. I believe we need to get the entity. So event.get. No, it gets the player. Interesting. So we'll then do player. If the player get game mode is equal to the game mode.creative, then we'll just return because they're allowed to break blocks. However, if the player is not in creative mode, then we need to make sure that the player that we basically get the game. So we need the Spleef game is equal to the Spleef.getGame. Then we need to check if the game is not in game, is not running, or the game. Did we not add that? Let's add that really quick because we kind of need that. What is this doing? It is not inverted. Get out of here. Public boolean is in wait. So now we can say game.is in wait. So if any of these three are true, then hold up. No, that's not it at all. If the person is in game and the game is running and the game is not in wait, then we return. Because they're allowed to break blocks then. Otherwise, we'll set the event to cancel and we will send the player a message. You cannot break blocks until the game begins. Perfect. That should work well. I'm gonna want to do. I'll just add another event handler. This will just be on premature dig. There we go. So when you dig when you're not supposed to, then we're gonna have a issue with it, basically. Let's also make sure. I think I have this correct. Get playing players is empty. We didn't test that, so let's test that. Another thing I forgot about was when you join, it did not teleport us to the lobby. Let's make sure we load it. Let's put this on to here and restart the server. Okay. Okay, teleported me to the lobby. It's gonna do the weird seconds again, isn't it? Let's actually... No, it's fine. We'll deal with it. So you cannot break blocks until the game begins. Awesome. So that works as intended. So now I should be able to break blocks. Awesome. That works great. Let's also see what happens if I type /lobby or /spleef lobby teleport. That should end it. And then if I go into game mode survival again, it should start up a new timer. Yes, it does. Game mode creative. Because when I'm in creative, I am not a playable character. Now, this should also allow me to break. But if I go into game mode survival, I should not be able to break because I am in the lobby. Awesome. That works great. I'm going to fix those odd times really quick. We'll set the game setup timer to 10 and the wait to 5. That way, no, we'll just do 5 and 5. It's fine. Let's see, is there anything else we need to consider? Or consider, not consider. Not sitting on anything. I think we've got what we want. So let's stop the server. And go back. So, what is it next we want to do? We do also want to make sure they can't place any blocks. That is important. But before we do that, we're going to say public void on normal dig. Say block break event. Thanks, Windows Defender. We're going to, first of all, if it's creative, skip. Otherwise, we're going to get that game, and we're going to make sure that we're in game. So if we're not in game, or the game's not running, or the game's in wait, then return because this is for normal digging. And if they're in creative, return because this is for normal digging in the game. So now we're going to want to get the file manager for our actual config. So let's get the Spleef config and load it, because apparently it doesn't like not being loaded. And we're going to say we're going to get the percentage. So we need config.getInteger, and we need what did we call? We called it something. So commands, Spleef. It's under the config command. We called it drop concrete likelihood. And it's an integer. So this is our percent. Let's get our random number generator. Random. Let's say if... Okay, how do I want to do this? So, if it's 50%, that's 1 and 2. So that would be 0.5. So, let's go ahead and do double percent and then divide it by 100.0. There we go. That will give us the actual number. Then we'll say if the random dot next int is equal to 0. It is inclusive, right? I always forget if it's inclusive or exclusive. Returns. That doesn't help me. Well, we'll find out. So, if next int according to I need to plot this in my head or on paper. So we need to check if it's a 50% chance, then that is 1 in 2. If it's a 33% chance, then it's 1 in 3. So it would be 1 divided by the drop rate. If it's 25%, then it's 1 over 4. So the number 25 needs to somehow get translated to 4. The number 50 needs to get translated to 2. The number 33 needs to get translated to 3. How do I do that again? Well, let's see. If it's 10%, then it's going to be 1 in 10. If it's 5%, it's going to be 1 in 20. I literally have the answer here. Is it 100 times that number? No. 100 divided by that number? 100 divided by 50 is 2. 100 divided by 25 is 4. 100 divided by 33 is 3-ish. Yeah, 100 divided by 33. Yeah, so this... Okay, sorry about that. We're going to do the next int, cast to int, 100 divided by the percent. And if that equals 0, then that means it will successfully drop. Otherwise, we need to set drop items to false. Man, they have that convenient of an event now. Man alive. I feel like I'm getting old. Cool. So let's give this a test and see if this works. So it shouldn't drop anything unless if we are in the game, like the actual game. Let's restart. Change to testing. Right, let's give it a look once it loads up. Okay, so 2, 1. Can't break the block, nothing drops. Broken. Nothing is dropping. I forgot what we set it to, if I'm honest. And it might be throwing errors. So let me check the console. No errors are being thrown, which is good. Now let's go ahead and check plugins. Spleef config. It is set to 50, so it should be a 50% drop rate. So let's go ahead and check out what went wrong. So we divide this by 100. Right. So I'm not actually going to divide this by 100 anymore. I'm just going to say int percent. And I'm not going to say load either. I want it to be a solid number. And I don't want it to load every single time we dig. That does not sound pleasant. So I'm fine with that needing a server reload. So let's do 100 divided by the percent. And since that's an integer now, there should be no problems. Okay. I am not in the program. Okay. So I basically changed this here. So it's int percent. I'm not dividing it by 100, and I'm doing 100 divided by percent. So this should work. The previous one didn't work because it would never be able to get a random int. So let's give that a try. Okay. Go to plugins, move the plugin over, and restart. Go to testing. All right, let's wait for it to load. That block. Can't break those blocks. Oh, it dropped something. Dropped something. I don't know about you guys, but this looks like a 50% drop rate to me. Looks legit. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. And so now we should be able to change that configuration file and say, I want 100% drop rate, or I want 0% drop rate. I don't want them to place any blocks if we're playing Spleef. So that looks like it works wonderfully. Next up, let's do placing blocks. And then we can work on death. Perfect. Okay, so let's switch over to programming. And let's take a look at placing blocks. So app event handler, public void on place. And this will just be block place event. I'm going to get the player. We're going to say if the player, basically if they're in creative mode, then it's fine. Basically going to say this all over again. And we're also, it's essentially verbatim this, but change the message. What we can do is, since this would cause a lot of spam if we place a break, we can just remove the message that's sent. It's not a huge deal. People will understand naturally, all right, I saw the message that I can't break blocks until XYZ, and so I'm just going to remove them, and we'll just keep it simple, like that. So now we should be able to not place blocks until the actual game is played. Yeah, not quite yet. So let's see here. What am I looking for? I'm looking for testing Let's smack this into here, and we'll test placing blocks. Okay, should be starting up. Let's get on. Look at all those smiling guys. So let's give myself... Okay. I'm not fast enough for that. So let's break some blocks, make sure we can place. Awesome. Now let's go into game mode, creative, and make sure we can break, which we can, and place, which we can. That's important. So let's do Spleef, lobby, teleport. Go to our lobby. And let's just grab an oak log, I guess. And we can place it now, but if I say game mode, survival, I can't place it. Why is it so hard to type? Okay. Game mode creative. Game mode survival. Let's try this again. Boom. Can't place nothing. Suddenly can place. Awesome. Looks like that worked great. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the next part of the project, which is death screens. So, how do I want to handle death screens? Let's first stop the server. I mean, the last thing I want to do is an on-move event, but honestly, I kind of have to, because I have to check if the player is in water or on bedrock. So let's do that. Event handler. Unfortunately, we will do the on-move event. So player, move event. We're going to do some things to immediately cut out certain players from this, because this is not really an event that you want to run for very hardcore, so to say. So if they are not in survival mode, so if they're in spectator mode, I don't want to care. If they are in creative mode, I don't want to care. Like, this is going to trigger a lot. I don't want to have to worry about that. So, something we can do instead is have... No, we're not going to do that. Then that's going to be too difficult. So, we got player equals event. Get player. We check if they're in survival. That is the most important mode. So now, we're going to get their location. And with that location, we're going to get the block that is under them. Dot. Subtract 0, 1, 0. Dot get block. And we're going to get the block that they are in. So I'm going to say loc dot get block. I'm going to do the inverse. So we get the block they're in, and we get the block they are under. And if in dot get type is equal to material dot bedrock, well, they're not going to be in bedrock, so We just want to check if they're in water, I guess. Or in get type equals material dot lava. So either of those two consist of a game over. So if it doesn't equal water and it doesn't equal lava and under does not equal material dot bedrock, then just return. So under this, we're going to specify what we want to have happen. So we also want to check, or not here, we're not checking there. That's fine there. So we're going to want to get the Spleef player. We'll just call it SP for Spleef player. Dot, not player. No, we need the Spleef game actually. It's equal to Spleef dot get game. And we want to get the player. Game dot get player, and we pass in a lock player. Should properly get him. So now, if sp dot is dead, then just return. If the game dot is, if the game's, no, we'll want to do this before the get player, because the get player runs a for loop, and that will slow down quite a lot. So we want to make sure the game is, if they're in game, the game is running, and the game is not in wait. So they're allowed to touch bedrock and water as long as the game is not, it has not begun. So even when they're not able to break blocks, they're able to cross on bedrock, lava, and water. So that's something to keep in mind there. So if the player is dead, then don't even worry about it. Actually, we already cover that up here because is dead. All is dead checks for is if they're in spectator mode. So we don't even need to do that. However, we do need to do sp.kill. And we're going to add that as a method in here. So we're going to say public void kill. What this is going to do is this is going to set the player's game mode to spectator. It is going to clear their inventory. It will set their health to 20. It'll set their food to 20. Set their saturation to 20. And that's about it. We'll also send the title. So, why is it encoded like that? Player send title bucket. Let's just look it up really quick. Send player title. Just something that's like game over is fine. Send title, subtitle. Just, you died. No subtitle. There is no string data update denoted. Fade in. Stay. I think 3 seconds is enough, and fade out for 20 ticks. So yeah, 1 second. 1 second in. How about half a second in? And half a second out, and stay for 3 seconds. So game over. 1, 2, 3, fade away. So that should work really well, actually. So we say we kill the player, and then we say for Spleef player p in game.getPlayingPlayers p.sendMessage, and we'll say chatColor.gold or chatColor dot green, and we'll say sp.getPlayer.getName chatColor.gold has died. There are now. Let's go ahead and do this. Make life. I'm so used to Visual Studio. Let's say int remaining is equal to game.get. I think we should. What is playing? Not creative. Gotcha. We should add here get living players as well. So not is dead. I think just saying not is dead in here. Yeah. We'll have to do that. Great. So now we can get the living players. So get living players. That sucks. Then we can say there are now chatColor.white, and then we say remaining chatColor.gold plus then our brackets remaining equals 1. Players plus remaining. So this is for yeah, that's good and all. Let's also do p.getPlayer.playSound at the player's location. Add 0, 50, 0. The sound will be thunder, entity, lightning bolt, lightning. Yeah, lightning. Yeah, lightning right there. And then we will go to 0. 0. So this is for if there are at least one player left. If there is not at least one player left, then we are going to need to end the game. We will say we'll just for now. How about we don't do that? Oh, we got some crying babies. Let's also just do list of Spleef player remaining players is equal to game.getLiving players, and we'll say remaining players right here. And then underneath, we're going to say, since we know there's that, wait a minute. Yeah, for now, to do, state the final winning player. There. So for now, since it's just me testing, I'm not going to add anything there just yet. So what should happen, let's go ahead and give this a shot and restart the server. See what happens. And change to testing. Let's go ahead and give it a test. Begins in 3, 2, 1. Great. This is safe. And I died because I'm directly on bedrock. Perfect. So it looks like I do die, which is great. So let's reset the timer. Awesome. Okay, I'm not dead immediately. If I were to go here... Okay, this doesn't kill me, which is good. I don't want it to. Awesome! It says you died. I'm not a fan of white in that, so let's just not have that and change it. But it looks like we've got pretty much a functioning game. I think the timer won't reset this time. Because it considers me as part of... Yeah, it still considers me as part of the game because we didn't end the game. And we'll add that in a second. Whew. Alright. Whoa, my brain is going crazy now. But if I fall again, it should just say you died. And in fact, it's not sending our message. That's interesting. Why aren't you sending our message? There's no errors. Should be sending a message. Oh, that's because remaining's not greater than 0. Okay, yeah, we're good. Let me change back to programming. I keep on doing that. So... Cool. So now... we need to end the game, basically. So, up top... we have start... private void. So in this end, we're going to want to check who's the remaining person, who's the winning person, right? Spleef player, winner. We'll get who's the winner here, and then we'll also get a list. Intended Troancy 6BHXB says best viewers on streamboo.com. Good thing I'm not interested. And we'll just say losers in there. Or the list of Spleef players. Now... yeah, I'm just going to pass in the winner. And the winner, get player, play sound, we're going to say is going to hear the wonderful sound of firework. Firework, rocket, blast. Yeah, that's explosion. Launch. Shoot, I think it's the launch that we want. Perfect. They get to hear that. Window. Winner. Send title. Chat color. Goal. You won. And in chat color dot aqua. Congratulations. 8 and 10, 60, 10. I'm also going to change that kill message to be red. Please wait for the next game. Something like that. That works. Then chat. I'm not even gonna do that. I'm just gonna say you won. Awesome. Good. So, last player gets the fireworks sound, and then every other player get playing players. If player does not equal the winner, I should probably surround these with brackets. If the player does not equal the winner, then player.send message chat color gold. The game is over. Then plus chat color dot white, just green, plus the winner get player dot get name chat color dot gold 1. Please wait plus chat color dot white plus 30 plus chat color dot gold seconds for the next game. Boom. And then player dot get player dot play sound, and we'll do it at player dot get player dot get location. The sound will be under lightning impact 1.0 F 0.8 F. That works. And then every player is going to teleport to let's also get a file manager. Config is equal to spleef.get spleefconfig.load. If config.has lobby, then we will teleport the player to said lobby. Get location lobby. Perfect. That's a great way to end. Since the game is over, it will be an impact. Someone dies. When someone dies, it's supposed to play sound. Awesome. So at the end, it will be game dot. Wait, what? Stop. Wait, what did I call it? Did I make it private? I made it private. Of course I did. Public void end. After everything is said and done, we are going to want to make sure that we do player dot well, we're gonna want to reset, that's for sure. But I thought we added a reset. Oh, it's set up. Gotcha. Set up. Player dot set up. Good. It clears their inventory survival 2020-20. Perfect. Perfection. So game.end. And the winning player, we're going to currently set to null. So if winner is equal to null, then we're just going to say, all of this depends on the winner. We're gonna do string name equals nobody. And then if the winner is not null, we're going to say the name is equal to the winner dot get player dot get name. This is what you call a workaround. And we will only do this if the winner is not. And then here, we can change this to name. So basically, if nobody won, it's going to say nobody won. If somebody did win, then it's going to say the name of the person won. Great. That's, I'm just such big brain. But reset should go up here. Perfect. But then, since we cancel the runnable, it's not going to run the next game, which is a problem. We want to run the next game. So we're going to need to call start again. Well, start actually resets too. Why don't I just do start then? Boom. Let's do it. Alright, let's install. And actually, this should give us our entire game loop. It should be a permanent game now, and it should work properly. So I'm going to, in fact, say pom.xml, change this to version 0.0.7. Let's install this. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be beautiful. We're going to go into plugins and drag you in. 76 kilobytes. We're getting up there. Change to testing. I kind of like this song. A little melancholic. But I do like my melancholy. Alright, we're in. 3, 2, 1. Boom. 2. I can do my normal stuff. But the moment I land, game is over. Nobody won. Please wait 30 seconds. Oh, right. I shouldn't say 30 seconds. But we do have our loop. Yay! And it's working. If I die again. Okay, something I should add is a post game. So I will add that. Because it's a little jarring to be yanked back to the lobby immediately when you die. Or when you win. So we will... yeah, we'll fix that really quick. We're going to programming. And I need to stop the server. While we're here, let's commit all of our changes because we did make a lot of changes. So, made completed and closing game loop with basic game rules, such as dying in water/lava or on bedrock. Something else we're going to want to consider. That's fine. Commit and push. We technically already did this, but the problem is that yeah, I'm not more than one player, but we'll fix that too. Great. Great. It's working good. Getting something. I always feel like I'm getting something. First things first, we are going to change on move. Consider block above equals the location dot add 0, 1, 0. So the reason we're doing this is because the player's 2 blocks tall. We need to check if the player is in the lava or water at their feet and in the water and lava in their head. So we need to say and above dot get type does not equal material dot water, and above dot get type does not equal material dot lava. This is a bit long of an if statement, so I'm going to actually break it up a little bit like this. Great. Looks good. So now we're checking properly. We haven't been able to test that portion yet because we haven't gotten to it. But I just know ahead of time we're going to want to do that. Now we want to add another timer. Game post timer max. We'll set it to 5, I guess. And down here, we'll add a private boolean game over. So game over is false by default. And when messing with things, game over is also false here. And no, game over is also false here. So game over, we only want to appear when it's truly the game over. So game over is equal to true, game timer is equal to 0, and level timer is equal to 0. So now, up here, we're going to say game over setup. So now, down here, we're going to say private void game over setup, so that we have our post game setup. I'm just going to copy this, paste it. When it's greater or equal to the game post timer set max, then we're no longer in a game. We're not in wait. In fact, we can just type reset. We also want to make sure, so I'm going to minimize this, and I'm going to make sure we don't teleport that player Or, yeah, I don't want to do any of this now. I want to set game over to true and reset the game timer. So now here, we reset, then we go through each player and get playing players. And now we can do it here. But let's also, with our configuration file, into here. This is P and P. So now, only when our post game over is set up will this happen. In fact, we don't want reset. We learned that start is good for that. So game timer percent game statement increment. That's good. Teleporting back to lobby in. And then we want game post timer max seconds. And we don't need a play sound effect for that. Then we got game post timer max again. And game post timer max. And I don't want to play sound once again. Great. No, that should work. I'll also say if game over. If not game over, then just return. We'll do something there in a second. But yeah, game over setup, that works out well. Good. Good. And we'll do it in like 5 seconds. Also, we want to make sure we say you will teleported to the lobby in, then we say chat plus chat color dot white plus, and then it's going to be the game post timer max plus chat color dot gold plus seconds. So we do 1, and then we also want to say send message here, chat color dot gold, and we're just basically going to clone this right here, right into here. Okay, there, and there also. Awesome. You will be teleported to the lobby in blank seconds. Sweet, this is really coming together. This is coming together really nicely. So, very excited for the end result. Play some games with some friends, wife. Sounds like a fun time. I'll have to ask Matt for help with that. But we got the post game over all set. We've got checking the correct blocks. Yeah, let's install this and give it a try. Drag it, change to testing, start the server. Should start a game almost immediately. now if I die, I should say he died. Nice. Wait, does it say breaking blocks begins? Yeah, I'll have to fix that. I'm curious. Yeah, it says breaking blocks. Okay, I'll fix that. We officially got our game loop. For some reason, part of me thinks that... No, I think it still works. Yeah, it works still. Okay, I was thinking that it didn't work for a second there. Okay, how long have we been going for? Hour 26. I mean, things are really starting to come along, so I'm pretty happy with how this is turning out. A really big thing we need to do. Okay. Stop. Okay, things we need to do. I still haven't changed the glass to barriers. That's number one. Number two, I still need us to... Ooh, oh boy. We need to copy the arena instead of use the actual arena. Yeah, let's do those really quick. Let's go to programming. And we're going to go into World Edit Creations. What we're going to do is public static void copy. And we're going to go from location to location paste, basically. There's different ways to do this. I can immediately think of one, which is make a list of blocks and then copy them to that list. But that's really expensive because blocks are not very fun to copy over. What we can do instead is do it as we go. So let's actually clone this information here. In fact, let's just take the whole thing because it's very similar to that. There we go. So now we get the location, then we get the block at the location. So we're going through everything, but now we're getting the block at this specific location. And now we need to paste this information. So now we're going to say location new load is equal to a new location, or actually just paste dot add, and it's going to be this will be interesting. X minus minimum X, Y minus minimum Y, and Z minus minimum Z. And that should clear it all out. Then we're going to say the new location dot set a get block dot set type to the block dot get type. And this should clone exactly what we want. Yeah, I think I'm doing that correctly. I'm not even going to store it to a variable. I don't want to do that. So we're going to get the block at the new location and set it to the block that we're copying from this location. Perfect. That should work really well. And there's minimal resources being used. Great. Yeah, awesome. So there's a way to narrow this down to one for loop, but it's not worth it to me. That's a lot of mental gymnastics that I'd have to hoop or jump over. Want to do this. Yeah, I think I want to do this. That way, we can just keep using the same place. So 4. Let's also do int height. And this is going to be specific to the Spleef plugin, so I don't use this for anything else. But int x equals int target start x. We'll call that at get block x, int start y, at dot get block y, and int start z at dot get block z. So now for int x is equal to start x, x is less than or equal to size x plus plus. Then int y is equal to start y, y is less than or equal to height. We should probably do and x equals start x plus size, and y equals start y plus height, and nz equals start z plus size. Then here we can say and x and y plus plus. Now let's do for int z equals start z. Z is less than or equal to the end z and z plus plus. Now we finally got our information. So location loc is equal to a new location in this world, x, y, and z. Now we can say if loc.getBlock.is getType.is air, then just continue, because that'll save a lot of time compared to this. Because I don't want to set something to air that's already air. This actually takes a lot more horsepower than what people think. If I'm correct, I can't even look at it. But that should actually save time rather than adding an extra condition, which is odd to me. But yeah, it's true. So we got copy, we got clear. Awesome. Because sometimes, let's say the arena is 20 by 20, and then the next arena is 50 by 50. No problem. This will copy straight over, easy peasy, right? But what if it's 50 by 50, and the new arena is 20 by 20? Well, that's not going to cut out the about 30 by 30 of the rest of that other arena, because we're only going from the from and to. In fact, I'm going to say in here, if the location.getBlock.getType equals the new location.getBlock.getType, then continue here as well. I want to try to preserve as much as possible. I think that will be faster. I cannot remember for the life of me though. But yeah, this should copy and clear things easily. Let's go ahead and do that now. So when the game starts, not in-game setup. So right here, we say get ready. However, we'll want to say first, chat color.gold, creating arena. Please be patient. And now, what we can do is world edit creations dot clear, and then we get the location that we want. Now, I'm just going to add right in here where I want the arena locations. This isn't necessarily a good thing to do, but I'm going to do it. And we're going to set this equal to the arena location, new location. The world is going to be Spleef get instance get arena world get world, and the X, Y, and Z is going to simply be -500. No, just -1,000. We'll do 50 and -1,000. That way it's never interfering with the building aspect. We can even set this further if we want, which I probably will, just like that. So that's our arena location. So we're going to do world edit creations dot arena location, and the size is going to be 100 since that's the largest size we can have, and the height's going to be 50 since that is the maximum height that we can have. Then we're going to say world edit creations dot copy, and we're going to say from and to here. Oh, hold up, this is actually not the best place to put this. Let's do for Spleef play. We're going to have a second for loop. Trust me, this will be a lot faster than what I'm planning right now. And in here, we're going to say file manager, arenas, just arena, is equal to spleef.getArenas. And we'll load. Do we already have that? Oh, we do already have that. Perfect. Then the location is going to be arena.getLocation of the name plus dot from, and then not there, arena dot get location of the name plus dot to, and then the location we're going to paste in is the world edit creations arena location. Perfect. That should work well. Now we got our spawn here. Let's actually go ahead and add spawn here, arena get location name plus dot spawn. And so we've got a location here now. Spawn, let's call this spawn stored, and then we're going to say location spawn is equal to a new location of the world edit creations dot arena location dot get world. Then this is gonna be interesting. Basically, I want to do this. Location from is equal to this. Say from to. This is going to be interesting. So spawn stored is there. But what we're going to want is the world edit creations arena location. Call this arena. Whoa. Oh, this will be fun. Let's figure this out. Because we need to set the accurate spawn location now. And the accurate spawn location is adding int x offset is equal to from.getBlock. No, it's spawn stored minus this. Yes, that's exactly it. So this is going to be y offset and z offset. So get block y, get block y, get block z, and get block z. This should work properly. So we're going to add the x offset, y offset, and z offset. Hopefully I did it right. Hopefully I did it right. In fact, in order to make sure I did it right, I'm gonna add math.min for from to so that I make sure that it's right. Let's oops. Let's get block y, 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 z, z, z. Perfect. So now that should teleport someone to a clone of the location that we want. Okay. Let's install this and see if it works just straight up. That would be awesome. If it works first try, I mean, that doesn't often happen. It happened a couple times in these streams, but we're gonna find out. Let's restart. And I'll change to testing. Let's see what you do. Uh-oh. I have no idea what's going on. Whoa, that's a lot of blocks. So I think I went too high. Oh my. What do you mean caves and cliffs? Am I able to specify the world? Well, something didn't go right. We will find out. So, let's go to edit, test, and now try to teleport. Okay, Something definitely went wrong here. I mean, what? What? What happened here? Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, this is so bad. This is so bad. It just keeps going. I mean, at least we know it's calling the methods, right? Curious how far this goes. I'm not so curious as to just keep going. Why does it do it like that? It's like all of a sudden there's a jump. Because this one block taller exactly? No, it's not. So why does it jump like that? That's so funny. It just makes a nice old parabola. I think this is the world height limit. Yeah, I think it is. No, it's not. Does that mean it starts over at the bottom? World did I do? What did I do? That's so funny though. Okay, back to programming. Did not work the first time. Just letting you know that. Let me see if the console logged any issues. No. Alright, we're good. Alright, copy didn't work properly. Why? Who knows? We're going to see if we can find out. Teleportation did not work properly. Why? Who knows? We're going to find out. So, spawn didn't work. Maybe spawn is returning something bad. From to spawn. Okay. And I mean, it should be as simple as 140 minus, or 120 minus 124, 0 minus 7, or 7 minus 0, and 6 minus 0. So I don't know why that did that. Question. Does this set... It does. Great. When did that change? Does location.add affect the current location? Maybe it always did that and I'm just confused. Spigot. Whenever you need to add or subtract something to or from a location. Well, would you look at that? I think we found our problem. Oh, that is so funny. That's hilarious. Is there a clone? There is a clone. Okay. All right. Okay, there's a new location here every time. And down here, we do have that. Great. Let's do new location real quick, see if there's... No, there's not. Okay, we'll do paste.clone then. .add. That's gonna slow things down, but that's okay. We do need it to happen. I mean, otherwise, what I can do is location. I mean, no matter what, it has to do something. No, this is probably the fastest way. Man. Rude. Thanks. Okay. We clone it with copying. That can make sense to a degree. And then we go to the Spleef game. And you make sure that we copy the arena or clone the arena before we add. Actually, let's do that. Location spawn equals arena loc dot clone dot where is it? Add x offset, y offset, and z offset. This will actually do less calculations most likely. Spawn in there. Man, I did not know that. Okay. Let's give that a shot and see if that works. That is so funny. I love that. Let's move our new version in. Restart the server. And I'll change it to testing so you guys can see. Wait for the server to start up. That should be good. Alright, let's see if this works now. Yeah, worked. Okay, this should be a complete clone. Yep, I see it over there. And so if I were to mine this all apart and get this all destroyed, so satisfying. We'll even destroy all of the spawn point. Yeah, that's right. That means that if this doesn't work, we're dead in the next round. Jump right in. And start the next game. And boom, it's another clone. However, all the drops are still here, so I'm gonna need to fix that too. I don't remember the code for that actually, so I'm gonna need to look into that. Second. I can copy this. Oh, let me type my command. Ah, can't start the game. Cool. Let's fix the other thing that is wrong too, which is the fact that it is telling me that block breaking is going to happen in the game over phase. So let's fix that. Teleporting back to lover? Wait, when did I... Okay. Lobby. When did I type lover? Man, I think I'm tired. What do you guys think? What's chat? That's hilarious. I type lover. That's so weird. Okay. So that's fixed. That's a really easy, quick fix. Now we need to make sure. Yes, that's right. We need to clear all drops. So upon game over, when do we call game over? You know what? How about when we call reset, we do that? So on reset, we say we go through every single bucket world. Nice, there is a function for it. World in bucket get worlds. I mean, technically, we don't need to go that far. So let's just do spleef.get world dot get world dot get drops. I might actually need to look this up. How to clear all drops from world bucket. Remove dropped items on ground. Get entities. Interesting. Filter. Need to make sure that the type is an instance of a item. Map. And then remove it. I think that's how that works. Yeah, we'll just filter to list map. Convert it to an item. Say to list. So this is a list of items. And then I always like to do it this way. Then are equal to 0, I minus minus items dot get of I dot remove. So this should clear all the drops in the arena world. That should be good. And let's give that a try. And then after that, we'll go into the Spleef and check our to-dos to see how we're doing. And I think I'll stop there for tonight because I am very tired. So let's restart the server. That is if it works. If it doesn't work, then we'll do a couple of updates. Let's go to testing. Good. Now, game mode, survival. Oh? Did I break something? In general? Could not load. Exception initializing the main class. What? Well, okay then. Let's take a look at that. So it's having an issue. Where's this issue at? Spleef game 224. Gotcha. It's having an issue right where we are going through each item. Come on. Where is it? Perfect. Yep. So, fine. Be that way. List of entity items is equal to Spleef get arena world get entities. Fine. Be that way. Rude. So now all we'll just say is if the items.get of I is an instance of an item, then we'll just remove it. Easy enough. I should be able to just say .clear, but I don't know. I don't trust it. Whatever. This is fine. Cool. Now, and give it another try. Let's restart. Change to the testing. I should probably see if it loaded first. It's inside reset still. 225 right here. Okay. We still got the issue. That's interesting. I don't even know what... Oh, that's right. It is calling it in here, isn't it? Right. It is factual. Then what we're going to need to do is world is equal to spleef dot get arena world dot get world. If world dot is what would it be? Null? Yeah, I think so. Let's see. Not is equal to null, and simply return. And we'll move this up. Now we can just simply say world.getEntities. Okay, let's try that now. Now it should be happy. Restart the server. Let me actually keep on doing that. Is it going to load? It loaded, so let's give it a try now. Great. Looking good, looking good. There's still a couple drops. So let's make a huge mess and see what happens when we die. So when we reset and go back, it should clear everything. There we go. We're looking good. We're looking good. Don't fall out there. Still need to change that glass to barrier. Let's change the glass to barrier real quick, and then call it a night. So we're going to do Spleef Arena delete test because it's made out of glass. And now let's go back to programming. And we need to go to when we create an arena. Not to make it glass, but instead barrier. Good. Then what we can also do is event handler public void on barrier break, and we'll say block break event. We'll have 3 block break events. That's okay. Then we get the player. If player dot get game mode is not equal, so this shouldn't even be possible, but we're gonna account for it anyway. So if it's not equal to creative, then don't do squat. Don't you dare break that barrier block. However, oh, this might be a little messy. I'm not sure. Well, only one way to find out. We'll do file manager, arena. Is it arenas? It's equal to spleef.get arenas.load. So now we're going to go through set of strings. I will make it a list of strings because I can't. No, set of strings. Sets are usually faster from what I know. A set of strings, which are the names. Arenas.get section. Arenas.get key. Come on, get keys. False. Then for string name in names. We're going to go through every arena, basically. And is there a way? Location, break location is equal to event.get block.get location. Oh, we also want to check and event.get block.get type is not equal material dot barrier and event.get block.get type is not equal material dot bedrock. I don't want them to break the bedrock either. Barrier and bedrock off limits. Off limits. We need to make sure that we are breaking the correct. We can't let the person in creative break those blocks of the arena. They must remain. So for name, location from is equal to arenas.get location. Arenas dot name dot from to I know in survival they can't even. I don't. Wait, that's not correct. If the player's game mode is not creative. Yeah, that's not right. That'll break a lot of things. Let's fix that. Let's have another if statement. So if it's neither of those, then just simply return. We don't need to do anything in this event. But we're going to go from and to a certain location. Then we're going to check if the break location dot, is there like a between something? Between 1 and 2. Let's look it up. Check if location is between 2 locations. Fuck it. I check if a player is between 2 areas. No. No. All right. Fine. Int from x is equal to from that could block x. Int y. No, we do need to do it this way. So let's grab from here. Boom. Int x equals break location dot get block to x, y equals get block y, and z equals get block c. So now if x is greater than or equal to the minimum x, and x is less than or equal to the maximum x, and y is greater than or equal to the minimum y, and y is less than or equal to the maximum y, and z is greater than or equal to the minimum z, and z is lesser than or equal to the maximum z. So with this, we're checking if our break location is within any of the arena's boundaries. If it is, we'll cancel the event and send to the player, you cannot break bedrock or barrier blocks of an arena. And then, if that's successful, then we'll just return there. Otherwise, they're able to break it because they're outside of an arena. Alright. That should work. Let's just copy and paste this function for placing as well. On barrier place. It's technically barrier and bedrock, but I don't care. That's fine, 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 that's fine. This is all the exact same. You cannot place bedrock or barrier blocks in an arena. Such an amazing change. Okay. If this all works, next version. And that's always exciting. Next version is always exciting. Oh wow, I've been doing this way longer than I wanted to. Let's drag this in and delete the previous version. No, I love this song. Alright, restart. Also haven't pushed to get in a second. So I need to make sure I do that. Okay, the plugin is loaded. Let's get in. Wait, hold up. There's no arena. No, stop it! Okay, that's something that definitely needs to be fixed, but we'll do that later. I'll add a to-do really quick. To-do fix the game starting even when there is no arena. Okay. We will fix that later. Now let's do Spleef, arena, create. This will be a 20 by 20. Oh, wait, no. Wait, what's first in create? Yeah, water or lava. So we want water, 20, and the name is just test. All right, we have it created. There's barrier blocks in place. If I try to destroy it, yeah, it works. Now, if I try to place it, yeah, bedrock. Awesome. Now, if I go outside of here, okay, that did not work. Let's go up a second. Go outside of here. I should be able to place on top and outside, but I can't break the actual blocks in the arena. Awesome. So Spleef, arena, edit, test. Let's go ahead and get some concrete going. Some beautiful concrete. Here. And I can place normal blocks. In fact, I should make it impossible to edit any block except for concrete. Set white concrete? Is that what it is? Go here, here. Walls, orange concrete, comma, red concrete. Sure. Beautiful. Then let's just set the spawn here. So /spleef arena spawn test. Spawn point has been set successfully. And now to test it out. Alright, it clones properly. We got everything we want. So now I should be able to break blocks. Oh, no, I can't break blocks. Uh-oh. That's not good. What did I do wrong? So it was working properly before, so it's safe to assume that it's within the on-barrier break event. Right. Alright, we'll do the check every time. Honestly, this should catch everything too. And we're going to want to make sure we do it for on-block barrier place 2. Perfect. Let's give that a shot. See what we got. Upload the new version. Means we gotta restart the server. Switch back to testing. And let's see that one. That one should work. Takes a second to load up. Come on. There you go. It's 3, 2, 1. It shouldn't be able to break at the beginning, but once it starts, there we go. Now, let's make sure I can place. I can. Awesome. So we can break and we can place. Ooh. I think I want instant break when you're jumping too, so I'm gonna raise the efficiency. But if I jump, I died, nobody won. You will be teleported to the lobby, and now I'll start a new game. And it should clear all of it and give me a fresh arena. Awesome. It looks like everything is working as intended, which is very nice for me as a developer. Makes me happy. I can't break these barrier blocks, nor can I break the bedrock. But okay, so before we end, I don't know. Go away. So going to our Spleef. Where's our defaults? I know we have our defaults. Set defaults. Let's just make it have efficiency 20, I guess. That should be able to break it immediately. If not, then goodness gracious, what in the world is this made of? Other than that, yeah, I think we're good. So let's see what we got. We added the Spleef game. Good. Give efficiency 10 pickaxe. Arenas must be concrete. Cool. Add flexibility between being able to retrieve and place concrete. Cool. We did that. Touch on bedrock. Step on water inside or lava inside. Spectator mode. We did that. We are pretty close to done. I'm going to add a third item here, which is fix the game starting even when there is no arena. And with that, I'm going to call it quits for the night because I'm very tired and my throat's about to give out my voice. So I am going to do this. Fixed bugs. And added features for no breaking bedrock or barriers in creative mode when inside an arena. Basically that. Commit anyway and push. Push. Alright. This should now be updated on GitHub. Feel free to give it a look. It's under the username Joshay000, Joshay000. That's if you want to give it a look, fork it, do your own thing with it, have fun with it. Up to you. But I'm going to call it quits for tonight. Thanks for joining the stream, and I'll see you guys in the next one.